No, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear
Welcome to
listener.
the Vin and Sori channel.
Yes, where we review heavy metal music. Type 22 if you can hear us. Want to make sure everything is all straight. It has come to our attention that the big homies from Iowa have dropped another release or a new song
Called Yen?
The name of this song is Yen. Y-E-N. Yen. So shout out to Ginger fans, shout out to Brown, Westmoreland, etc., etc., etc. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff. Guys, we do not do interruptions, and a lot of times when you do official music from official music videos, they get blocked. So if you see us black out, it's because we've been blocked. Never you fair, though. We will be able to come back after the block wears off, and then we'll be out. We'll be good to go. Shout out to Andy Humphrey. You're awesome, too. So we're doing the official video. We will risk getting blocked. We will risk a copyright strike for you beautiful people. We think because it only released 5 hours ago, it won't happen. But let's test our luck. Here we go. Slipknot Yen. Let's do this shit. Starting off with some tension here.
You're the sin that I've been waiting for. The hands around my throat is all I can think about. The smell of sweat and blood. I would feed you all my pleasures just to drown in all of yours. Have you heard of me? Are you hurting me? Let me savor what I'm waiting for. A chance to make me choke. You're all I can think about. The taste is red and rust. Can I hold you in my mouth until I fade into this form? Can you cover me? Will you breathe for me? As the night goes in, can I cross my skin? When my death begins, I wanna know that I was dying for you. I died for you.
Slipknot Yen. Hopefully you guys are still with us and we haven't been booted from the YouTube. Holy smoke. I really like that song.
So did I.
That's going on the playlist.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the previous song that they released, but this one was really good. Yeah, nobody really does melody like Corey freaking Taylor, man. Like that middle part was unbelievable. Unfreaking believable.
Which part? Verse 2?
The middle part, the bridge, where he was talking about that part right there. I wish this pain could last forever. I would replay it, but I'm afraid of getting shut down. Wow, such a good song. I love that slide in the middle of the chorus. Boom! You know, like they would slide when they got to the chorus. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah.
Remember, I had written that into one of our courses, and then Jay wrote something better, so it overrode it. Remember the Phoenicia song? It was that slide in the very beginning. I have that copy. I still actually ran into it online.
Oh, really?
Yesterday. I was like, holy shit, that was the copy. Wow, I really love this song.
I really did too.
It's a very... The interpretation...
You could really go a lot of different ways
of the lyrics can go a lot of different ways. So first of all, yen is the currency currently in China.
Oh.
Right? So...
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the yen is still the what you call the currency in China. So is he talking about money here? See what I'm saying? Because it's saying I died for you, and the name of the song is
the basic monetary unit of Japan.
Japanese. Yeah. My bad. I should have learned that from Jay-Z. I spend Japan yen, the 10 major events. Catch me in the joint, convince my iguanas is fighting. What's your name? Jay. Okay.
So
it's...
If you take that out of it, it kind of sounded like it could be a relationship song, but then it sort of sounded like, a sacrifice to an idol, which could still be a relationship.
Yeah, to money. You see what I'm saying?
For money?
Yeah.
You're the sin that I've been waiting for, the hands around my throat. It's all I can think about, the smell of sweat and blood. I would feed you all my pleasures just to drown in all of yours. You think that's what he's talking about, is money?
Well, it could be. I could easily interpret that as money.
Yeah.
And the trap that happens in. So what do you think it's about?
Well, I mean, it kind of had a relationship edge to it, I thought. Of course. But it doesn't sound like a healthy relationship, obviously. You're the sin that I've been waiting for, the hands around my throat. It's all I can think about, the smell of sweat and blood. That to me was just kind of could go the, pain and pleasure element. I would feed you all my pleasures just to drown in all of yours. I thought that was a pretty cool, like, if you're talking about, like, within a relationship. Yes, I understand that it sounds very unhealthy, but the whole, like the one person is, like, sacrificing everything because they want to drown in the pleasures of the other person. It just sounded a cool line there. But then have you heard of me didn't really make any sense. Are you hurting me does.
Yen can also mean a strong desire or urge. For money.
Interpretation. Stop!
Maybe it's a double entendre. Corey, is that funny? You're the sin that I've been waiting for. The hands around my throat. That's all I can think about. The smell of blood and sweat. I would feed you all my pleasures just to drown in all of yours. That's interesting.
The taste. Okay, why?
Well, basically bread and water. I would feed you all my pleasures to drown in all of yours.
Oh, I see.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you heard of me? Are you hurting me? Let me savor what I'm waiting for, a chance to make me choke. You're all I can think about. The taste is red and rust. Can I hold you in my mouth until I fade into this form? Can you cover me? Will you breathe for me? As the knife goes in, cut across my skin. When my death begins, I want to know that I was dying for you. I died for you.
So I knew this girl that had a really severe eating disorder, and I was like, this is not help. And I thought that she didn't have an understanding that she could die. And so when I talked to her about it and I was like, this could kill you, she said, oh, I know. But that's what's so great is that you've gone to that extreme with it, that it would, like, you're so badass and you're so, like, not a quitter on this topic that you will die for it.
Right.
So that part kind of reminded me, like, of that.
Sean says, I always think it's about his ex-wife. Possible, because Sori's theory is that it's a relationship song. Is this from the point of view of a female? That's really interesting, Rip. What would make you think that? I'd like to know. That's a very interesting take. Don't know what happened yet. A surge of panicked zeal. Worry when it's not in effect. The game is fine by me. All the words for retribution only add up to revenge, overpower, and devour.
I thought that was a cool line.
Why is that?
Well, because retribution, to my understanding, is like punishment inflicted on someone as vengeance for a wrong or criminal act. So retribution sounds like it's calculated, it's justified, it's the way it should be.
Right.
But he's saying, look, at the end of the day, it's just vengeance.
Right. Retribution is sort of the legal form of vengeance.
Yeah.
It means that you went through the proper channels, and so the equalization of the act is a just act.
Yeah.
And obviously society benefits from concepts like retribution, because if you don't have concepts like that, then people are going to go out and take their own justice into their own hands, and that's never good. So there's a societal utility in making the distinction between retribution and revenge, but emotionally they're the same thing, right? If it so happens that you're lucky enough to be able to see real retribution for a crime that's happened. I just saw something where I guess there are these gang of roving sexual assaulters in Great Britain or something on the Middle America channel, where there was like 6 or 7 of these guys, and they got 52 years in jail between like all 7 of them. These guys had been kidnapping girls, assaulting them, and between like the 5 or 6 of them, they only got 52 years between like 6 people. One guy got 7 years, guy got 9 years. I'm like, so my point is, very rarely do you get actual justice in the world. So if you're lucky enough to get retribution, where you go through the system and the system actually, doles out a punishment that's commensurate to the crime, emotionally it feels exactly like revenge. It's just one kind of emotion you can get away with in society. The other kind of emotion society tries to discourage.
Well, I mean, one of them is set in motion by you, I think, and one of them is set in motion by the government. And I think that that's different. Like when you go out and you do something to right a wrong. Well,
not necessarily, because many times people end up in a trial because the offended party seeks the government on them. What I'm saying is that society, and I think there's utility in it, society discourages revenge because we're all afraid of, it devolving into anarchy, and, like Cain says, whoever finds me will kill me. Mm-hmm. So all of us try to discount revenge and try to go for retribution. I think his point is one emotion that it feels the exact same way is socially acceptable, but then you have this other one that is not socially acceptable. Mm-hmm. And I think that's sort of the dichotomy of how do you put that, put that together?
Yeah.
And then in the refrain it says, show me all deaths are the same. Show me you'll remember my name. Show me all deaths are the same. You will remember my name. So that is a pretty...
What did you make of that part?
Well, there's a couple things. One is that, he's recently had a friend die. Joey Jordison died, the drummer, the original drummer, and obviously the bassist died. On top of that, Sean, his daughter, died.
Yeah.
Of an OD, presumably. So they had faced a lot of very important deaths in there, and 2 to 3 of them were drug related. So there's a sense in which all the death is the same, in the sense that everybody keeps dying because of these drug overdoses, or just generally not taking care of your body and things like that. Joey had some sort of disease that was, wasn't necessarily a drug thing or whatever. But yeah, that part right there, and then it says, "I wish this pain could last forever, forever." And I think what he's referring to there is just the pain of being in relationships with people. Like, even though it's hard and difficult, like there's some relationships that are extremely challenging, it would be better to have that challenging relationship than that person actually die. So I wish this pain could last forever. I wish this kill could make me suffer for good, meaning, sometimes if you can't have that person in your life and it's difficult and you keep taking losses, then, the attempts to take your own life would probably be something that people would look at. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Joey had a neurological disease or a musculoskeletal disease. I'm not sure, but it was pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, I also think, like, as the knife goes in, cut across my skin, when my death begins, I want to know that I was dying for you, I died for you. Like the self-inflicted, it's not a healthy way of dealing with anything. In fact, I think it brings more destruction than anything, but, like that self-harm sort of thing, and like, he's saying, I wish this pain could last forever because it would be better. It would be better. Obviously, like, if you harm your own self, right, that pain is only going to last until the body heals.
Right.
But the pain of loss of someone, right, is going to last indefinitely. And so he's saying, I wish this pain could last forever. I wish this kill would make me suffer for good. Like, I wonder if he's just he just wants to take that so he can not feel the other one.
Yeah, which reminds me of the show that we're watching, Severance, where one of the characters, something bad happens, and so he volunteers basically to have half of his consciousness basically to basically sever his mind into two, so that he has a work persona and a home persona, and the memories that are generated from the experiences he has in the work persona do not carry over, right, when he leaves work, and vice versa. And so he gets 8 hours a day where he doesn't have to feel the loss of this person in his life. That's a pretty extreme example of that, but that to me is that to me makes sense. Like, I understand, like, I wouldn't do it, but I understand, like, when people are in emotional pain and they don't know where to put it, it's very difficult. It's scary for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's not like, and the other thing too is that why people do these physical, assaults on themselves is because at a psychological level, the solution is very simple. So, like, you cut yourself, we know how to treat that, get a Band-Aid, blah, 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 and it'll heal. It's a weird kind of third way of looking at it, but it presents a kind of pain that has a simplistic and expected solution.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
9.9 times out of 10 is going to work. Like, your clotting mechanism is going to work, and you can look at it and a scar gets left behind, but the scar is a representation of healing. Some people have internal scars that are so deep that there is no Band-Aid that you can put on it, and so facing that is so difficult. Facing a wound that in their minds currently is unclosable, and you're running out of emotional resources to try to, fix that wound, becomes very terrifying. So a lot of times people will physicalize it, because at the physical level, you can see how healing works and things like that. And you can look at yourself and say, yeah, I was cut, but now it's closed up. Mm-hmm. But internally, they're still opened up. So people don't talk about that aspect of it a lot, but I know that's kind of like deep down, but that happens a lot with people as well.
I think also when he says, I know that I'm dying for you, I died for you. Like, well, when my death begins, I know that I'm dying for you, I died for you. I wonder if he is, like if you, sometimes when people die, it seems so random, so meaningless, so why, and it just leaves you with so many questions. And why did this person, if they took their own life, that's a whole nother, set of questions. If it's something random where they wouldn't have been there, but then they were there, and then that happened to them, like, there's just so many whys that go unanswered. And like, when he says, when my death begins, I know that, like, he's putting purpose in it.
Yeah.
when my death begins, I know that I'm dying for you. I died for you. And then he leaves it as that like, I died for you.
Which I think when you are surrounded with people who die for, there's no glory in dying. I hate to say it this way, but there's no glory in dying of a drug overdose. And so, especially if you're a parent and you're looking at, the lives of your kids and the dreams that you have, and he or she's going to be like this, and walking down the aisle, if you're going to lose your kid, you want to hear
a blaze of glory.
There was a kid stuck on a train track, and the train was coming, and your daughter just couldn't take it, and so she ran and shoved the kid out of the way, but unfortunately the train hit her. We have to bury your daughter. It's like,
that's what I mean, like some meaning. You want meaning.
Yeah, like there was this one guy where his daughter died and she was an organ donor, and there was this girl waiting for her for a heart transplant, and she was, next on the list, but time was like a week. Time was running out. This girl dies in a car accident. It's her heart, and all the other people basically that she helped with her eyes and all the other. I mean, she gave her body to other people. None of them said anything to him. None of them thanked him. And then there was that one dad that made the trek to see this guy, and then he could hear his daughter's heart in the heartbeat of this other girl. So my point is, like, if you have to lose someone close to you, like, you want to lose them that way. Because there's a sense in which that father could say his daughter died for those people. Mm-hmm. But if you lose your kid, or you lose your brother or your bandmate over drugs, it's such a deep wound, because it's like, why? All of who they were, all their experiences, and they're gone, and it's for a reason like that. That creates that sort of nihilistic, like, all deaths are the same, will you remember my name, that type of thing. And I think he's saying when he dies, he wants it to be something significant. He wants it to be, not even in a blaze of glory, but for something that gives everybody else purpose and inspiration. Mm-hmm. Because it's fascinating. People talk about dying, and they say, you go to a gravestone, and it's like there's 1995-2010, and it's like your entire life was in that dash. And it's almost like sometimes the way you die almost validates that dash or invalidates it in a sense. And I know that's like a weird way of looking at it, but I do think after being all over the place, being at the top of the world as a rock star, but then at the same time seeing people, Chris Cornell, Chester, this was his generation of people that he came up. Well, Chris was a little bit earlier, but Chester, like all these people that he came up with, that was in the dude from Drowning Pool. There were just so many people that they lost. Dimebag Darrell, again, random weird reason, like, you know what I'm saying? And I think he's saying he doesn't want to do all this significant music, do all this stuff, and then die for some purposeless reason. I don't know.
I think the other thing, too, is when you spend time around someone and then that person ends up dying of an overdose, it's not like you didn't see the signs. It's not like you didn't see that they were abusing, and so then, the guilt that probably comes of maybe I should have said this, I should have done something here, we should have done an intervention, and like all the questions and the guilt and everything that follows. And I think that guilt is something that people have to really contend with and face whenever there's any losses within their vicinity. I think that's something that people have to work through.
Yeah.
Because you always wonder, is there something I could have done differently? Is there, that's, I mean, one of the conveniences about, our religion is that when it's the person's time, it's the person's time. Which I think is helpful. Yeah. I know, like, for me, when I had my miscarriage, for a while I was like, it's this thing and it's that thing, and you're trying to put all the blame everywhere else instead of just realizing that was that was the decision that was made, you know?
Yeah.
And one day I'll know and I'll understand that decision. But, you know, and I think that everybody has to face that in their own ways with their own losses. I mean, that is part of life on this planet now. We do have to experience loss, and you know, there's two ways. I was just talking to a woman yesterday, and you know, she was talking about, because I had woken up, I was terrified that something was going to happen to one of my kids. I just kept rethinking through it. It was not healthy. I told Vinny, I was like, you have to pray for me. And then we ended up at the beach that day, and I was talking to a woman who lost her son when he was 20. And just, you know, the timing of that was pretty crazy. And, you know, she just basically said, you know, every day has to be given to God, and she's grateful for the time that she had, because she had 20 beautiful years with him. And like, that's one thing that I've noticed, that anybody that has, like, they're healthier in a sense, like after a significant loss, they're always the people that try to see the bright side of it, the grateful side of it. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would hope that I could do like those people and make, you know, and celebrate. And she said, my son would be the first one to tell you, the one that she lost, would be the first one to tell you that he wouldn't want her moping around and being depressed and sad about it. He would want her to, you know, and I think that, you know, maybe that's part of it too. If, you know, if something ever happened to me or you or whatever, we wouldn't want everybody just sitting around just in depression. We would want people to make decisions to make the best of the life that you have, and we'll see each other again.
Inshallah. Yeah, well said. Nothing to add to that. Shout out to Clarissa, who lost her mom to cancer.
Oh.
And Blair, who lost their brother-in-law to cancer. And I think the other thing about, like, no matter how the people that we love left the earth, like, you can always, to your point, even though, like, there's some reasons that are obvious, for example, the train situation, like, it's like, okay, my kid, you know, died, but did so, I mean, I saw this one school shooting happen, and the kid ran in front of everybody. He took the bullets for his classmates. You could look at a kid like that and go, "Holy shit! Look at the purpose." You're like, I understand why that kid was around. But there are other deaths, like things like cancer, or even overdoses that we've had to deal with doing the ministries that we've done, where we've lost people that made it. Mm-hmm. Which is the worst part of it. It's like they made it, and then they relapsed, and, you know, whatever. So, but the very fact that you remembered them means that you and that person think about the odds and the literal trillions of counterfactuals that had to happen in everybody's life for us all to intersect with each other. Mm-hmm. And so, whether you've seen a person for a minute or a year or 10 years and 20 years, just that experiential interface with another amazing consciousness that's so full of mystery and greatness and evil and secrets and art, and like to be able to interface with that package of consciousness that we call another person is itself the significance. And no matter how the person leaves the world, that's where the significance is, and just being who you are in the first place. So, shout out to everybody. It's a deep song. It's a really, really deep song. Shout out to Slipknot. This going on the playlist. And if it's going on the playlist, it can't get anything other than a 9.8. So,
that's
it can't get any lower than a 9.8 is what I was saying. You were going to give it a 9.8?
Yes.
It's a 9.8. Really, really good song. If they would have, like, extended that bridge, like, I'm gonna like create a remix and like just copy and paste that bridge on a loop for a couple times. It would have been great. It would have been great to be able to do that. Okay, 9.8 for me, guys. We will see you guys at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have other songs to do today. People are just sharing, you know, the tough stuff in their lives, which is what music is supposed to do. Shout out to Slipknot. My father's literally dying at this very moment from lung, liver, and throat cancer. Brown, I see that you're a believer, maybe. So I'll pray for you. I hope that doesn't offend you, because I don't really know you that well. But so there you go. He's getting a lot of love in the chat. This is what we're here for, people. It's what we're here for. Slipknot is great. Rocking out is awesome. But, you know, hey, we got a half an hour together, and that's how we use it. So much love to all you beautiful people. Yeah. We love you all. Shout out to Slipknot.
See you guys later on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Live stream. Sorry.